Returning for the third round of the championship, B-Dragon Tonic on pole with JD Venter alongside. Then it's Jaco Tigranes and Bob for Renault Edams. Then it's Daniel Baltasarov and Pastor Maldonado. Daf Sanchez is 7th with MF1 World 8th. And the championship leader down in 9th, that's David Camino. Then it's Einit Babness and Theodore Schumacher. UK Ball is 12th with Emil Rez 13th. Then it's Inokui, Leo and Marcus Nelson. Akari is 17th with Rabo alongside. Mahavir Raghunathan 19th with Yuki Suo. On the last row is Solos Kynes and Sebastian Ocampo. We're in the Principality of Monaco, one of the greatest races in every season as all 5 legs go on. We go green for the Monte Carlo E-Prix, and that's a very good start from the top 2. B-Dragon Tonic deciding to go for the mediums to start the race. Bob almost getting past Tigranes coming up the hill after Santa Bot, but coming through Casino Square, B-Dragon Tonic still holding the race lead by a thread from JD Venter and Jaco Tigranes. Tigranes, what a move! That's bordering on illegal overtake, but I think he will just be allowed to take second place with that one. Maldonado got past Bob there, and spinning is Bob's teammate Mealrez. Mealrez there in the other Renault Edams car. Solos Kynes gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. That was not with Mealrez, but we just about went on board with that car up ahead. I think there's been an incident, and I think that's with, well, we'll see later. I don't know who that's with. I think that is with Raggy Nathan. As we see the Red Bull FE car come through the final few chicanes. Everyone very close, apart from Mealrez. But coming to start lap 2 of 19, B-Dragon Tonic leads the way from Tigranes and JD Venter. Looking at that Lamborghini Mako car for the first time in quite a long while, it actually looks like it's in race-winning contention. But it's not with the established driver Marcus Nelson, who has driven he has driven pretty much every lap in the FEMC when he finished the race. Well, that's kind of what it cost. Either way, Jaco Tigranes currently second, a few inches, I guess. I don't know the measurements, away from the hyperdrive car in front. But this is what happens a lot in Monaco. The first lap is usually hectic. The midfield, they are a different breed of racers. As, Mealrez is caught up to the back of the pack. B-Dragon Tonic sets a new fastest lap of the race, but, this is what happens in Monaco. As soon as the tires start to wear out, the racing gets good. But the lap 2 and 3, the racing is pretty stagnant because there's not a lot of, tire wear. JD Venter started second, now down in third. Trying to gain on Tigranes if he can. The South African driver in the number 23 car for Volkswagen DP World. The car is set to new fastest lap fastest first sector of the E-Prix. As there goes Sebastian Ocampo making a move I don't think anyone realistically should. But he manages to make it cleanly, and that is 15th place for the DS Andretti driver, currently second in the Drivers' Championship. All he needs to do is brush up on that qualifying. We go on board with the 76. And he's trying to gain on UK Ball ahead. He's pretty close to the Braun car, but now the question is going to be overtaking as Tigranes. And he's going to try and pull off an undercut here. He pits, the first driver to come into the pits. And not QE also in. Does anyone else want to try and make that strategic decision? I think I might know a driver who might. But refuses. Mealrez does decide to stay out. I was guessing that Mealrez, since, they're already down in last, might want to try and take an undercut opportunity, but no. Guess I was wrong. Akari now on the back of Jaco Tigranes, and the thing about Akari, his situation is currently he's trying to defend from Carlos Sainz, and he wants to attack Tigranes, but he just doesn't have the tires for it. Tigranes is actually way closer to Ocampo here. We go on board with Sebastian Ocampo in the number 76 car going into the chicane. And we're still looking back just in case anything fishy happens. Nothing yet. And no real moves trying to be made by anyone here. You know, as we go on to lap 5, as JD Venter pits, meaning that out of the top 3, the one who will stop last is the one we expected to stop last, the medium tire runner of B Dragon Sonic. He's gone 5 laps on those mediums, and I think they should be able to do 6 quite comfortably. So I think this race, if we take in consideration that the usual strategy is soft, mean, soft, mean, or just soft, I think it's likely going to be either a 2 or 3 stop race. You don't get that from your AWS insights now, do you? So the current running order is B Dragon Sonic from Pastor Maldonado and David Camino. Then it's Inet Babness, Theodore Schumacher, and Leo. That's the top 6. And what's happened with Ocampo? You would have expected him to make the pass on UK Ball, but no, Tigranes tried. Tigranes has failed, and UK Ball might actually get past Leo here. Leo into the wall with the Pinnacle driver who is out. Ocampo hits him. JD Venter hits him. Ragunathan hits Ocampo, who hits. It's oh my goodness me, he's riding him. Oh dear. Both Andretti's being beneath Leo there, and oh my goodness me, Kynes hits. It's Sanchez who is now out of the race. Ravo gets just about through that situation. Akari comes out of all of that still in last, and B Dragon Sonic benefits from being able to have a pit stop. He leads the way 3 seconds ahead of UK Ball on new soft tires. What a strategic decision to just call him in, even if he could have done another lap on the mediums. It was the smarter thing to do down at Hyperdrive Mercedes, and the man who was currently alongside him is now 4 seconds off of him in 5th place. Tigranes, however, the man who started 3rd, is now 3rd with only UK Ball to try and overtake. Looking at the tyre percentages, I can see Braun just going, you know what, UK Ball, your tyres are still good. You can do as long as you want compared to the driver behind you. And we've got yellows behind these two. Yellows behind them as we come up to the scene of the incident. It's this chicane likely. Why do I suspect it was David Camino? Why do I suspect it was him? It wasn't. As we come through the chicane, I gotta calm down my throat. I think I'm suffering from strep throat is the thing, so yeah. We go on board with Ravo in the number 7 for Hyperdrive Racing. His teammate leads the way. He himself is so far off the back. UK Ball now dropping down the order. He's down to 4th now. Maldonado has gotten himself up into 2nd. And how much tyre? The percentage does he have? Maldonado's been able to do an overcut on Jaco Tigranes, it seems. Yeah, I think he has, because he's got more tyre wear, tyre usable, compared to Jaco, so I don't know how he's managed to do that. I think he came in on the same lap as B Dragon Sonic, which would explain that. As we see Jaco Tigranes come through that swimming pool chicane. We now use the exact same layout as an actual F1 race. Camino gets past his teammate. Doesn't look like there was too much discussion in there down at Braun. B Dragon Sonic sets a new fastest lap of the E-Prix at 107.066 with 11 laps to go of 19. We go on board with the Volkswagen driver of Inet Babness. He goes side by side with UK Ball as Theodore Schumacher resets the fastest lap. Inet Babness takes 6th away. And, you know, UK Ball, I think he might have wanted to have a more defensive effort, but down the straight, there's not too much he can do. And I think Marcus Nelson might have realised that himself, because he's in the pits. We see him come in. They put him onto soft tyres. And 13 comes out of the pits in last place. So let's check in on the race leader soft tires. 61%, so he could pit on this lap. He'd much rather pit on the next lap. It's down the inside on Jacko Tigranes goes David Camino. What a move from him. And you know what? Theodore Schumacher's going to do the exact same thing. He has just done the exact same thing to get himself up into 7th place with 10 laps remaining in this race. And Big Dragon Sonic's actually rapid. He's flying. There is only an entire sector separating him and Marcus Nelson. Raven actually with quite a bit of damage, so maybe he could have been why the yellow flags were flying in earlier. As into the pits comes UK Ball. It was a good effort, a great effort from the Brawn driver to go 9 laps on hard tyres. The longest stint of any driver on a single set of tyres in this race. But he does have to come in and put on some new soft tyres. He's got the freshest tyres of anyone out on the track, and that will hopefully motivate him as he's just come out of the pits in 13th place. He's got 3, make that 4 places to make up if he was to take points in this race. As Akari now gets past UK Ball. Rabo also came in. UK Ball trying to re-overtake the Pinnacle car ahead of him. And this is going to be the pinnacle of hard overtakes to make. Akari with stone cold defense, but that stone cold defense is no use compared to a white hot rod. That is UK Ball getting past the red, black and white car of Akari. It's into the pits, has come past Maldonado. B-Drac and Sonic still out there on those soft tyres. He might want to come into the pits at the end of this lap. But B-Drac and Sonic, I think, yeah, he's probably going to lap his own teammate here. Ravo going into the tunnel section. Once Ravo leaves, I believe UK Ball, B-Drac and Sonic will have entered. And yeah, I'm right. So there is only a few meters in between the teammates here. He's sandwiched the entire grid. B-Dragon Sonic keeps it out of the wall. He's keeping it clean. He's not doing anything too rash, like how he lost the Monaco E-Prix last season. He's looking for his redemption with 9 laps to go, and he might be about to redeem himself in the streets of Monte Carlo. He's 11 seconds ahead of closest rival, JD Venter. And oh my goodness, Ravo on the back of Milrez here. And B-Dragon Sonic has decided to come in for medium tyres. I think B-Dragon Sonic might actually still hold the lead here. We're going to go on board with JD Venter, who is now rounding out the final few turns with Camino behind him. B-Dragon Sonic has begun lap 19 as into the pits comes JD Venter, and it's for intermediates! Intermediate tyres going to JD Venter's car! B-Dragon Sonic has just come out on medium tyres! And that means Hyperdrive Mercedes EQ! The full team name of Hyperdrive Racing! Oh, he's gonna have to limp the car back home! Same with Einar Babner, same with Theodore Schumacher, same with UK Ball! All the drivers who haven't pitted, yeah, they're gonna have so much of a hard time coming through, especially this final sector, because this is where grip is most needed. It doesn't seem to have actually begun to start raining yet. No raindrops are falling. They have now begun to start falling as Einar Babness makes his way through the swimming pool chicane. And he's still just about safe enough. JD Venter is 16 seconds off the race lead. If B-Dragon Sonic was to pit now, he would just about hold on to the lead. But that gap is shrinking ever so much. B-Dragon Sonic now dives into the pits for his 3rd stop of the race with 8 laps to go. It will become 7 once he crosses the timing line. Babness is going to come in. Schumacher's going to come in. UK Ball's got to come in. Milrez has got to come in. What has happened with these 5 drivers to not switch on to the intermediate tyres when all the others did? JD Venter, he comes across the start-finish straight now. He will be ahead of his teammate. He will be ahead of Theodore Schumacher. But I don't think he will be ahead of his main racing rival. He will not be ahead of B-Dragon Sonic. So that strategic blunder just about paid off for B-Dragon Sonic, who had just about enough of a gap to hold on to the race lead. My goodness me, what happened there for Hyperdrive? As into the pits comes Milrez, the last driver who was still on slick tyres. JD Venter now under a second close is to be Dragon Sonic, but with 7 to go, it's raining. You don't get DRS in the rain. I think B Dragon Sonic might have this race won. It looked like he might have lost. He's lost grip coming through that chicane. Of course, he doesn't have that heat in the tires compared to JD Venter, who is right behind him. And as we see Sebastian Ocampo get past an QE there. But what on earth happened to those 4 drivers? Like, Babness and B Dragon Sonic, they came in at the same time. They must have gotten the call to come in around the same time. But one of them went on to inters and the other went on to mediums. Maybe Hyperdrive thought, well, we have to pit the car anyway, so we might as well go on to another set of mediums because most of the track seems dry, but it wasn't dry enough for mediums. Another set of softs they do have, but I'm just confused on why those drivers just went on to dry tires. The Campo sets a new fastest lap of the E-Prix at 106.3 as he's chasing down Carlos Sainz. Championship hopefuls here. Now look at Ironet Bamness, the Volkswagen Formula E driver. Behind him is Pastor Maldonado, he's way less experienced in this championship compared to his teammate Carlos Sainz. And yet at every single opportunity he's outperformed him. I don't know what's happened with Kynes. Maybe it's just a mindset issue after what happened in Yas Marina last season, but he's just not switched on. He's nowhere near switched on. And I'm not too sure if he's ready to go back to try and hunt for a championship again. You can see little like puffs of spray coming off the back of Daniel Bogdasarov's car, as he's currently in 9th place. And yeah, it is raining, I believe. It is still raining. We can't really see too much of the rain. We're in the tunnel now. So JD Venter comes out of the tunnel currently in 2nd place. And you know, there's still quite a lot of sun out there. We can't really see too many raindrops on the cameras. So I'm not too sure if it would be wrong to say intermediates are definitely probably going to be the tires to end the race on, even if it begins to dry up. We've got 4 laps left in this race. The Marina Bay E-Prix, when you think of street racing insanity, it's usually Marina Bay. This season, I doubt Marina Bay is going to have more insanity, like pure insanity, compared to this race, considering the strategic blunders we've seen. I mean, we haven't seen a puncture yet in this race, but if we do see one, that would absolutely amplify everything. Kynes, now, he's been caught by Ocampo. Kynes regenerating some of that ERS deployed. We go on board with the Jaguar driver. He looks behind and Ocampo's already sent it. This driver just finds grip where no one else dares to look. And he's got himself up into 11th place for that, and rightfully so, has the fastest lap for his heroics. Almost thought that the race leaders might have been coming into the pits, but no. We go on to lap 16, but still technically on lap 15 with the driver we're looking at. That was very rough coming through the swimming pool. Unbelievably so, Marcus Nelson in the wake of a car ahead of him. It's obviously going to be worse for him because he's got not only dirty air, not only spray, but it's also just wet. So it's unfavorable for the drivers, these conditions. And with 3 to go, would I be wrong in saying that there's no real fight for position occurring anywhere down the grid? JD Venter looks like he's going a little bit slower. Not too much, water in the tunnel section, because it is very easy to get the tires warmed up. And the tires are actually very warmed up, in fact. They are at peak operating temperature. We saw a few raindrops come across camera. There's another one. So it is definitely still raining. It is very light rain though. And it's just great that the drivers did come in for intos when they did. Because if they didn't, it would have been very dangerous. I would argue that they came in a lap too early as Kynes goes very wide, very deep rather, into the swimming pool, the chicane. Ikari comes to that chicane now. He's trying to close in on an Huey as Sebastian Ocampo in the number 76 car trying to take 2 positions home, 2 points home for DS Andretti because he has the fastest lap of the E-Prix. And David Camino, we're just going to take a look at him. He's currently the championship leader. If it finishes like this, I do believe he's going to lose out on that championship lead because of who looks to be winning this race. But I don't think the team Hyperdrive is going to gain too much. I do think that Braun will still hold the Constructors' Championship lead. Camry, I don't know if this is just amazing, but I just see a little bit less confident in how he's driving compared to someone like his teammate. And this is likely due to the inexperience in these conditions. You know, UK Ball has got hours of experience, days even, in these conditions, as we're on the penultimate lap of the Monte Carlo E-Prix. And UK Ball, he's trying to close in on Daniel Baltasarov. And yeah, there's Ocampo right behind him. This could be the major battle to watch to the finish, the fight for 9th. Ocampo, however, losing time going in after Santa Vot coming through Casino Square. That's where the Andretti car really loses out in terms of time. But as far as I can tell, I don't think he can look for any overtakes yet. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that as we see B-Dragon Sonic coming through Anthony Nose to start the final lap of this race, the final lap of the Monte Carlo E-Prix in season number 13. Sets off into the distance then through Santa Vot with JD Venter 3 seconds off the back of him. We look at Sebastian Ocampo now, who's looking to try and take that 10th position away from UK Ball if he could just find the space to do it. This is what we needed to see. Just a little bit more racing. UK Ball is dropped far off the back of Daniel Baltasarov. That is not his race anymore. It's 3 seconds off the back of him. The gap between 10th and 11th. This is for the last point. And if Ocampo can take the position, he gets 2 points. But if UK Ball holds on, he only gets 1 because Ocampo has the fastest lap and he's looking to set another one. He set a new fastest first sector of anyone, but he's still not close enough to make an overtaking to his favorite overtaking spot. But coming through, Anthony Nose. It's the multi-time champion. It's the reigning World Drivers' Champion. It's the number 44 who comes home. It's Redemption Day for B-Dragon Sonic, who wins the Monte Carlo E-Prix. JD Venter is second. David Carlo comes across the line in third. And Ionet Baroness well before. And that has been quite the masterclass from B-Dragon Sonic, and lights the flag finish. As we see, Ocampo, he's gaining on UK Ball still. He's not close enough to try and slingshot his way past, so it will be no points for the Andretti driver. UK Ball does come home in 10th. As we now look to Ravo down in last place, going through the final few turns. A hyperdrive sandwich here in Monte Carlo. I definitely have strep throat, I swear to God. And this is your podium. B-Dragon Sonic for Hyperdrive Racing. Look at that H. He does win here in Monte Carlo. JD Venter is second with David Camino in third. And then, as for the rest of the finishers, Ionet Baroness is fourth with Pastor Maldonado fifth. Then it's Theodore Schumacher, Jacques Tigranes, and Bob and you've got Daniel Baltasarov, UK Ball running out your point scorers, and then it's Sebastian Ocampo, Inokui, Carlos Kynes, Kari, MF1, and Marcus Nelson. Then we have Yuki Suo, Emil Rez, Raghunathan, and Revo running out your finishers. Your non-finishers, both Filipino, Daf Sanchez, and Leo. In the drivers' standings, David Camno leads the way, 13 points ahead of B Dragon Sonic, who is another 13 points ahead of JD Venter. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, UK Ball, Inokui, Pastor Maldonado, and Jacques Tigranes. Then it's Inet Babinet, Revo, Yuki Suo, Theodore Schumacher, Akari, Carlos Kynes, Bob, Daf Sanchez, Daniel Baltasaro, Leo being the rest of your point scorers. Your non-point scorers so far after 3 rounds are Mielrez, Marcus Nelson, Raghunathan, and MF1 World. In the constructors standings, going into round 4 in Marina Bay, Braun GP still lead the way on 80 points, from Hyperdrive Racing on 52. Then it's Volkswagen on 45, DS Andretti on 34, Jaguar on 23 points, Red Bull FE on 22, Rodin on 12 tied with Lamborghini Mako, and it's Pinnacle FE on 11 points, Skoda FE team on 10, and Renault Edans on 4 points. I'll see you guys next time then, when the Formula E Monopoly Championship returns for the Singapore or Marina Bay E-Prix.